There were a lot of shifts. A big one was I used to drink a lot to kind of cope with how I was feeling, and I was in denial about that
Mm.
right up until the day that I stopped drinking. And I was like, "Oh, this is a bigger deal than I thought it was." And that was a huge piece of it, was starting to build a community of people who had chosen not to drink. Like, I'm not shaming anybody for what they choose, but that really helped me learn how I was trying to numb away certain things or trying to avoid certain things, right? Like,
Mm.
it made it very different to build intimacy when there's not a glass of wine first. It made it very different to have an argument, and it made it very different to deal with social anxiety or other areas where I was masking some of this shame, and then I didn't have a mask anymore.
Yeah.
And I started doing a lot more of the somatic work, but it started with yoga and kind of developed from there. And I started doing a lot more shadow work where I was looking at, okay, what are these things that are causing me shame and why? What are the things that I'm so scared I might be? Let's look at that and let's kind of like have a conversation with the demons instead of trying to like lock them in a closet. And it really has been an ongoing process since there. And there have been a few big shifts, but I feel like that for me was
Yeah.
probably the starting point.
Yeah.
And I think one of the underlying things that I see with bringing up children that I think I'm like, oh, we could be doing this better is making use of our communities
Mm.
because raising children is impossible. You can't actually do it by yourself. Like,
Yeah.
you can't do it perfectly. And one of the most helpful statistics that I ever learned is that if you meet your child's needs 40% of the time, they're unlikely to have like adverse events. It's
Oh,
like, it's not even, such a low bar.
cool.
But there's, right? But there's so much shame around, like the joke about like the Pinterest mom and it's got to look
Mm.
like this and it's got to be this. I will say, as far as, oh, it didn't bother me or, oh, it didn't affect me or I turned out okay. When I hear that response, what I'm hearing is resistance to a different idea because you didn't.
Mm. Yeah.
Where it's because it's always spat at you. It's never like,
Ye-
oh, I think I turned out okay. It's like, well, I turned out okay, right?
Yes.
Always,
Correct.
always in that defensive, like, how
Of
dare
course.
you? There is no other way. Because if there were another way, that's so unfair.
Mm.
And it's
Yes.
that resistance to sadness about, hey, it turns out that, like, they're not just small adults.